Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Speaking of offshoots and new generations, we of course have the typical, atypical, special, one of a kind, but not really because it happens every other week. And I forgot to get the. Ooh, wow, that was lucky of me. Tell your
Also,
tale, Sunny Smooth moves. Smoothie
I
moves.
just I just want to really quickly say it's bold of you to assume that I have decorated my house to begin with. All of my furniture is stuff that I was able to get either for free or very cheap. I there is no logic to what I have. I just have stuff.
Oh, so you decorated in bargain chic.
I I have a couch that I got for free and like a bed frame that was the bed frame that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Like the bookshelves were just shelves that I was able to get for sale at Best Buy, and they're not even the best of shelves. Yeah. Although, if I'm honest, I think that the best thing to do when it comes to furniture, if you have a new home, just get what you can get. Don't worry about getting stuff that all looks right at first. You can take care of that in time or not.
I just do what I do in my own home, and I don't care what anybody else thinks.
That was life advice from the Brony Show. Now let's go ahead and talk about
Don't-
making smoothies.
Don't take our
One
life
thing before
advice.
that, for anyone that was using the Brony Show announcements channel to know when an episode of Tell Your Tale was posted, we apparently forgot the last one to post it on the 6th when it came out.
Don't give me forgot. I was out of state.
You're out of state. Me and Commander both missed it.
That's
It's
fair.
in the show notes.
Yeah, please be sure to check out the show notes. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Sunny Smoothie Moves. Of course, it starts exactly how every pony episode should be starting, with something hideous and horrible hunting down Sunny. Apparently, the sins of her past have finally come to claim. She realizes she probably shouldn't have written all of that fanfic of her and Spike together. Should have been her and Twilight. We all know it's Twilight's secret shipfic folder, not Spike's secret shipfic folder. No, actually, I stand corrected.
But
No.
it is. He's the one that wrote all the ships in the comics.
Ooh, good point. However, no, it's actually a different ghost. It's a ghost of underwear. The Fruit of the Loom people have finally come to lay claim.
Oh no.
Yes, the ponies have not worn underwear since the inception, and they demand that clothing be worn.
Don't blame her. Blame the underpants gnomes.
The underpants gnomes clean them out. But of course, Sunny has figured out the perfect solution. An advertisement with a pair. So, yep. Actually, it looks like what the situation was is it was a commercial. Sunny, of course, advertising her wonderful smoothies with homegrown fruits straight from the orchard that is literally across the street.
Excuse me, the orchard with magically infused earth pony magic grown.
Yep, pretty much.
You can get fruit mixes.
Get so many fruit mixes. And look, it makes her so happy she looks a little high.
These
She's
grapes
so
are so good, they'll get you high.
High above us, she's a flying.
Of course, you have to, because of this, the day was saved thanks to Sunny's Scouts.
Oh god, that was the same background as those
That
the
was
jingle.
Thus the day was saved, thanks to the Powerpuff Sunny.
That is so... But yes, of course, it was an all-in advertisement, which I'll give Sunny some credit. She's actually willing to spend the money to and make some effort to actually get an advertising campaign out. So yes, Sunny is just trying to drum up more business and trying to get more smoothie flavors out there. Of course, she's all excited for this, so much that we have another shipping pair. Everybody move over, Hitch and Pip. We now got Sunny and Pip. Everybody wants a little bit of the small horse. She's squishy.
Sunny Pip Scout.
Sunny Pip Scout. Ooh, I like that.
You know, you say that, but there was a show that recently ended with a purple and orange semi-themed character. Chip.
Of course, who has to come and ruin the buzz but everybody's favorite Karen Posey.
Body
That
pooper.
pear is too hairy to be eaten.
But she's like,
That
what
is
is...
a squash, my good sir.
No, it is
the
not.
pear is on the platter.
No, it is not. It is not a squash. It is not a that. What is it? I don't know because nobody put it in the tags. Seriously, it's supposed to be some sort of. It's supposed to be like a banana, like a combination banana squash of some sort. I don't know.
Hey, hang on, I got the episode up. I can just go to that time code.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a kiwi pear. Pretty sure banana squash. I forget what the raspberries are. Or no, it's supposed to be a bundle of grapes.
I think it's like berry grapes of some sort. They're like mixed fruits essentially. Yeah, kiwi. You got a kiwi pear. I swear.
Oh my god, it's a banana eggplant fusion.
Really, a banana eggplant? Oh god, that is actually disgusting. You know what? I'm actually I don't feel anger towards Posey now. She has the right idea with this one.
And the pear is so hairy because it's a kiwi pear.
Also, I would like to point out, this is like the second show I've ever seen that do fruit combinations, and the other one was Zoe 101.
Well, everybody's trying to make new things. I mean, you ever try a grapple? Those things are disgusting, by the way. Don't try a grapple. Anyway, so yeah, Posey is basically like, yeah, it's cool and all. I really care, but I don't. Just give me my normal smoothie. And of course, she's immediately hit on by a soldier, just like, hey, when are you getting off? I'll have you know,
baby,
I'm
you
well
want a
protected.
more satisfied eggplant?
Actually, I was gonna make a joke about being armored for her protection. He's a real Trojan pony there.
I didn't want to go for the obvious one.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it's just too easy.
The Trojan one was too easy. That's why I went with the egg.
Yeah, it's too easy, but you have to go for the easy one sometimes. So, of course, Sunny is distraught. She couldn't come up with such an awesome pickup line if she tried.
He has a better commercial than I do. How can I compete with that?
And then goes to blending the same old smoothie flavors that everybody always orders.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Of course, Pip comes up and says, Sonny, do you know anything about a soldier that keeps walking around saying something about showing ladies his spear? I think the police are coming after him.
No, Hitch is coming after him.
Yeah, Hitch is definitely coming after him. And it's not for tips. But
Melon Dragon, you have two daddies now.
But of course, Pip is just like, well, you know, it's really hard to get people to try something new sometimes because people like what they know is good. You know,
and also we are creatures of habit, no matter how much you deny it.
Yeah, we all like what we like, and it's really hard for us to try something new. Except for me, I honestly love trying new things, but I'm adventurous and stupid. Anyway, Sunny's just like, oh my god, you're right. Circuit is stupid, but we also can try. We can also try something completely different.
Sir, do you love making yourself the pariah?
If I don't, you guys will.
Not
Okay.
always.
Of course, Sunny is just like, yeah, you know what? That's what we need to do. We need to give everybody a chance to try it.
With free samples.
All right, and really quickly, well, I'm just gonna throw this up here because I can't resist.
Oh my god! It's worse if you remove one letter.
No, that's the
Yes.
joke. That's absolutely
the
the joke.
joke.
That is absolutely the joke.
It was a joke made by someone in a grape outfit.
No, it was done by the whitest kids you know. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on.
No, it's still in a grape outfit, though.
Moving on. Sunny, of course,
Love the
is
caption.
Sunny, of course, is inspired. In fact, she's so inspired, even Izzy is starting to get concerned. And when Izzy is concerned, you have to wonder what in the world's going on. So she just goes like, so
too creative.
So how in the world are you going to get people to try different fruits, but also have room for the normal fruit smoothies? And just basically, how are you going to do this to begin with? And of course she says, why, my dear Izzy? I'm so glad you asked. You know, I want so badly to make a joke, but I've already made too many.
Well,
she unveils the
Ooh.
smoothie machine.
Oh no!
You
Gambling.
use Cookbot.
So, yes, with this very handy dandy machine, you get to press whatever you want, whatever fruit combinations you so desire, and you can have a smoothie. And of course, everybody comes up to see it, including for some reason Misty. Seriously, how does she show up in all of this?
She was following
She's
the
in
baby
the
dragon.
background.
Yeah.
So, let me get this straight. If you get like 3 cherries, do you win a free smoothie?
No, but you're definitely not going to be very happy with the smoothie you do get. Has anybody ever tried a very cherry smoothie?
No.
Thank you. That's my point.
Cherry isn't generally a smoothie flavor as a main. Anything that's a side.
There is cherry flavored ice cream, the Cherry Garcia. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but that has chocolate chips in it.
Well,
It is very good, though. You are absolutely right. That is amazing.
From
Delicious.
someone who
There was a
actually
cherry
has to deal
smoothie
with
at DQ. Didn't taste too good.
As someone who actually has to deal with smoothies at work, the mango pineapple complement each other. The strawberry banana, you can't really taste the banana.
Well, anyway, so we don't have to worry about that because the smoothie machine does all the work for you. All you need
She's
to do
out of the
is
job. She replaced herself.
she pretty much did, but I mean she's got to fill the machine with fruit too. So maybe she did, maybe she didn't. If anything, she's being the entrepreneur because she gets all the money from the smoothie machine. And of course, she decides, you know what? I am so confident in this. We're going to immediately close all of these tabs. And not Misty, you're Izzy. Izzy, I have had way too much to drink today, but I want you to pick the first smoothie. And of course, everybody could see the immediate chaos coming.
She clicks all of them.
So, in fact, the chaos is so apparent, it's just like, are you sure about this? You know, I mean, we already had to deal with this thing last episode, and we don't even talk about that anymore. In fact, I'm pretty sure you blinked our all our minds. What were you talking about? Why do I smell toast?
Well,
Don't worry, the dragon is ready for chaos.
So, of
I've
course,
never had the pleasure or displeasure of having nieces and nephews. There's some horror
Oh my
stories.
god, the
Anyway.
dragon is the love child of Ember and Discord.
anyway, getting back on track here. Zip is like, I could definitely do a random smoothie pressing too. Missy's just like, yay! I'm actually involved without hiding in the shadows this time.
It's true. She's actually like involved in this episode.
Yeah, it actually kind of spooks me a little bit in a weird way.
Yeah, it's like she's just another pony in town.
Oh, look at
who's
those
like,
happy smiles.
just like, you know, just part of the family.
Embrace these happy smiles.
Yes, including this happy smile of Pip, just like, you know, could really use a really sunny smoothie. Of course, Sunny just immediately goes, look, we've already been through this. I mean, for crying out loud, we can only make so many innuendos in one episode. I mean, seriously, we get any more,
Don't
we're
have
gonna.
your phone on when we're in the bathroom again.
If we have any
okay?
more in here, we're gonna end up like Family Guy. You want that? You want to be Pony Family Guy?
We were already last episode.
So of course, everybody gets super excited, and instead of doing their turns one at a time, they immediately start demanding smoothies all at once. Boy, who knows what's can happen here?
Oh my god, it's an eggplant banana. Yeah, I was right the first time. Yeah, never mind. Brain fart.
Yeah, it could be a coconut banana. I don't know. Anyway, so, yep, apparently pressing a bunch of buttons on a machine that has just barely come out of prototype phase was a very bad idea. And
Sonny, you are not easy.
And the smoke coming out definitely gives the general idea that something is really going to go wrong. In fact, it's so bad that even the Spike, Spike the Magic Dragon. I wish. Even Coco Melon the Magic Dragon, who I've somehow conveniently forgot his name, is scared.
Sparky.
Thank you. Sparky Sparkaroni. And of course, all fears are founded as the machine goes out of control and starts trying to destroy some marine time. The town is getting destroyed by smoothies.
No, it's Gak.
And of course, all we can do is watch on in horror as Sunny realizes she has unleashed a new apocalypse upon the ponies. And it's not even Wednesday. And so the machine runs amok, spreading smoothies so far and wide that it even affects Kazoo. Poor Kazoo.
Kazoo Kid is traumatized. I'm going back to the forest.
Poor Kazoo. He'll never play as Kazoo again. And of course, all our friends get together and just like, you know what? No, we can do this. We've saved the town before, and heck, we even got Misty this time, and she is totally not evil and plotting to steal my dragon. I mean, look at that face.
High.
Look at that face. That's the face of somebody who is completely trustworthy.
Or giving you bedroom eyes.
completely trustworthy.
Just lock your shed at night.
Of course, as they start to realize that they have to deal with the epidemic, it's already spreading pretty badly. I mean, wow, there's trauma right there. That pony is that's a look of a pony that is never going to be the same again. Just like, I hope this doesn't awaken something in me.
Too late.
So of course, Sunny decides to follow the lead example of the pony she admires most, Twilight Sparkle, and panics.
Game over, man. Game over.
And of course, the panic leads to the perfect moment of royalty coming fresh out of the salon. Oh boy, it's like history is getting ready to completely destroy any hope anybody has of harmony.
Well, in fairness, this is like the second time a ruler has been attacked by some sort of goo.
Of course, she's completely oblivious to the danger. But Zip is there to save the day from the main from the day. And thus begins the royal fun of eating as quickly as you can.
I wonder if that guard is actually tagged. Which guard is that?
Thunder.
Huh. Good to see you.
Thunder, thunder, Thundercats roar.
And even Sunny decides that she needs to get in and start saving the day. So, yes, the episode basically devolves into scenes of all of the ponies quickly running to grab massive spurts of smoothie flying through the air. Hopefully, nobody gets the idea of photoshopping the colors out of these things.
Too late.
I know.
I'm getting the sign.
Of course, they immediately go off. Go! We must save the townspeople! Including those kids! You see those 3 kids? The only ones that we actually acknowledge their presence. Pip.
The ones with personalities flat as cardboard.
Yeah, pretty much. Pip, go save the generic kids that are just your viewer count. That's all you need to do to a social media start. Just say you got to save your viewer count. They'll do the work for you. And of course, Posey immediately has to be the person of irony by having clean white sheets being put up at this exact moment.
She offers herself for karma.
Honestly, though, this just feels like, does this look like face of mercy to you? Just as immediate problem right here.
Oh, I have something. Huh. Somehow I feel responsible for this, and I don't know why.
At last, the
I need
sins
to
of
file those sheets for you, milady.
the sins of my past have come back to haunt me in Smoothie. I am ready for it. I know. Sunny of course comes in and starts eating it all. And I admit one of the better, more intriguing ones, Rufus putting on his magic show. And somebody explain this, because I don't even think Rufus can at this point.
He tried to pull a rabbit out of his hat, but an Izzy appeared instead.
Izzy replaced the rabbit. She ate it.
But of course, just for a little bit of fun, it looks like even Misty got in on the action there.
The unicorns come to save us all.
And finally, the final attack, and here's the one I'm wondering. Why in the world was Sparkeroni suddenly abandoned with a bunch of animals about to get smoothied?
In fairness, Hitch didn't want him hurt, so he put him with some friends and said, "Watch my kid."
Yeah, that didn't work out too well, did it?
Stay in the office. Stay in the sheriff's police department. Seems like them in danger. You had one job.
And of course, Hitch came in to save the day with a multi-barrage eat. And the machine finally gave up the ghost.
So, once again, Papa Bear comes in to save his little cub.
And with no repercussions that can easily be photoshopped to look very wrong. This episode is doing all of the work for me, I swear to God.
I've already posted the sign.
Anyway, getting back on track here. They realize, as they're cleaning up, they realize the new smoothie flavors were also really good, and they start to have a few favorites coming out of that. Oh look, apparently trying something different with what didn't hurt after all, and all it took was the almost destruction of the entire city due to smoothies.
Circuit, the worst it could have gone was a major cleanup.
Yeah, I know. I'm just having fun with the concept of it. So, of course, Sunny realizes that's what we need to do. We need to force feed the new smoothies to people, and then they'll realize that it's good. We'll do it just like Twitter. Okay, no,
or
that's...
Space Station 13.
Yeah, we'll do it like that. Make them try it. But no, of course... Positive word is also a good motivator, and a few telling ponies, yeah, these smoothies are really good, and the lines make themselves.
Also, free samples is never a bad idea.
Yep. So, of course, Sunny's like, Pip, after this, I'm going to give you a some one-on-one time.
Yeah, Toa, I have a counter to your argument.
Go for
You
it.
should not do free samples of medicine.
Oh, especially that. Anyway.
Fair enough.
So, yes, the day is saved thanks to rampant eating. This kind of rampant eating. I mean, look at him go.
Huh.
Yeah,
You wish
did
your
Biggie have a slingshot machine or something?
You wish your tanks were like this. This is what the tanks in MMOs should be like. What are you doing? You got a pony that can tank better than you. Look at this.
Oh, also, it's, again, something like, why is he eating so much? He's protecting his child. The parents' love is too strong.
Also, his stomach.
Apparently, his stomach and his... I forget the stomach. I mean, whatever is causing him to not get a massive brain freeze after that.
It could have melted, warmed up a bit with the machine on the rampage.
Maybe, but that's not how a smoothie is. Yeah, at least in my expressions, smoothies have always been rather cold.
Well, the longer the rampage went on, it could have gotten warmer for all we knew.
But yes, everybody gets to try new smoothies. Actually, apparently there was a big old, like a multi-mix berry smoothie that really hit off well, and everybody is really enjoying the crap out of it. Unfortunately, it's the only thing that people are ordering now. So yeah, Sunny's got another problem, but that's for another episode. Instead, have a pick of this.
She's offering something other smoothie places can't.
Yeah. Well, she also was the only smoothie. So yes, that was the Great Smoothie Adventure. In all honesty, the moral is a pretty common one, but one that I always am down for. Just never be afraid to try something new. Sometimes it might be something even better than you've ever expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, sorry for ruining your fun on the smoothie rampage machine. I spoke out before I thought too much on it.
It's okay.
It's all right, man.
I make tons of jokes anyway. Circuit, do you ever see Sunny use ice? You know what? Commander, something that is absolutely fair and valid. I stand corrected. I don't think we've ever used them use ice in that smoothie maker, have we?
I think I've seen it one time, but that might have just been my imagination.
Cold
We
dust.
do have the tag, so we can check.
Wait, what?
Cold dust. We might have it. Generation 4, we had toasters. Generation 5, ice in the smoothies.
You know?
Yeah, see?
Like I said, could have been warm because I never saw her use ice.
I mean, wait. Do you like put ice into?
You normally put
Yeah,
ice
you
in
do.
smoothies. You normally put ice in smoothies. Technically, I don't, but I usually use frozen bananas, so it's a substitute.
Yeah, smoothies are generally a chilled drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of curious.
I mean, ice cubes probably exist. They're pretty well along in
Yeah, most
technology.
ingredients were very fresh, like right out of the field fresh. And I don't see a refrigerator around there.
No, she's basically in like a portable cart situation.
Unless she has shaved ice in there and not ice cubes.
Chunky juice. That sounds interesting. I was going to say great, but then my brain actually thought about it.
Yeah.
All this talk makes me want a smoothie now too.
Well, I pulled up the episode, so I have those fruits.
All right, what kind of fruits are they anyway?
Hold on. Back to the point. Kiwi paya, pear nana, and it's, I'm not making it all out. It says strazzleberries. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
so it would have been
strawberry,
raspberry and
grape.
strawberry.
So
Oh, raspberry and strawberry.
okay, the kiwi. Oh, the kiwi pear is actually kiwi paya.
Yep.
Wow. I'll
Kiwi
give
paya and pear nana.
pear nana and
Yeah, I was
strazzleberries.
right about. Oh yeah, all pear.
Hmm.
Okay, I thought eggplant instead of pear. Only because of how it was shaped.
And the other thing that I have a note from the episode.
Oh my
is
god!
when Izzy pans the robot to the other list of things that can be put in the smoothie, why is there broccoli?
Fiber. But here's something
Fair.
hilarious. Strasberry is real. There's a real fruit called strasberry. It's a variety of garden strawberry with a raspberry-like appearance.
Aha! I was right.
It sounds like something that would come out of Strasbourg.
Let's see. I don't know about it could be Strasbourg, but it was made by a German breeder named Otto Schindler.
Ah,
Actually, the worst part is Otto Schindler was made it in 1925. Yeah,
Well, in
have fun with that
fairness-
one.
In fairness, it took like boysenberry to be made in in the early 1900s. So I watched people that cover Knott's Berry Farm, where boysenberry was.
This is a real fun fruit too. Apparently, it doesn't have a pollinator of its own, so it has to be self-pollinated. So it's basically, it's a rare fruit and constantly on the verge of extinction at times. Because you basically have to pollinate it yourself. So have fun with that history. So yeah, I thought the episode had a pretty decent lesson. Just all the smoothie talk really made me thirsty more than anything. And it was kind of interesting to see Misty actually basically being part of the group instead of just kind of hiding in the outlier and being the kind of like a pseudo antagonist, pseudo protagonist.
I mean, let's be real here. It kind of makes sense for this episode because if there's one thing that's been proven to be Misty's weakness, it's smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
True enough.
Has it?
Yeah. Don't you remember in Make Your Mark, there was that whole scene where like Izzy had a smoothie, or not Izzy, Misty.
I need to do a rewatch of stuff.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Actually, yeah, you do. I do too. Actually, I need to.
We all need to rewatch.
Well, you got Netflix with the full first 20 episodes.
I mean, come on, I've watched it enough that I understand the Foley is wrong, but I was able to pick that up very early. I mean, come on. There's bells during the winter episodes. Why aren't they jingling? Both Izzy and Hitch.
I'm not gonna knock on that one just because it would be annoying as hell if they kept jingling too.
I'm going to say that the probable thing, if I had to logic it out to a way that would make sense in show canon, do you really want Izzy's energy to have bells? No.
No.
What about Hitch?
Well, Hitch has got to do a little Dragon Boy. And let's be real here. Little Dragon Boy is...
his hat. Just a few bells on his hat.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna leave it on the same.
Do you trust that little chaotic, weird gremlin thing?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave this on the this image here until we finish up this discussion. That's my warning.
Oh God.
I won.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I apologize for nothing. Anyway, episode was pretty fun. The moral was pretty good. It was nice to see Misty in a more active role. Anybody else have any other additions in regards to that? All right.
You have too much Trix yogurt.
You know what? I got. Okay, that's Trix yogurt. That's a good one.
Oh, also that's something else in smoothies. You can do it without ice, but you also have chilled yogurt as well.
Do they still make Trix yogurt? Actually,
I believe they do.
When the sherbet melts.
I believe they do. I don't know which branding it is.
Apparently,
when you have to eat up the sherbet before it melts.
Actually, apparently it wasn't available for a while, but it is back in Walmart and Super Value
it came
stores.
Back in 2021.
Yeah, back in 2021. So yeah, it wasn't. It was gone for a while and it came back. Go figure, right?
And it came back.
YoPlay.
It is still YoPlay. They probably have a. Wow, that brought back a memory. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on here. Sorry, I just remembered the giant wall of YoPlate yogurts that were so many different flavors. It was insane.
They were good.
I don't know about that part. Anyway, we're gonna move on here, and now it's time for what everybody's been waiting for. I'm sure. But the BabsCon recap.
Yay.
So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get windows moved around here a little bit.
And yes, I'm still looking for stuff with the smoothie.
Alright, so let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about what happened with BabsCon this year, because I had a bit of fun myself, but I kind of did it to myself too. Some of you who are following on Discord noticed I was posting a bunch of images, and there is reason for that. So let's get started here. Of course, we'll start with this image. So here's the story. Me and Haru were getting ready to get up and go off to BabsCon. We had a later flight in the afternoon, so luckily we didn't have to do too much in the morning other than just make sure we were packed, have a nice little giant breakfast burrito. So, it's pretty laid back and chill. Then, just as we were about to leave, I saw the Twiggy plushie on my chair, and I was struck by a sudden moment of inspiration. And I just said to myself, why don't I take the Twiggy plushie with me? Because for a little while, until things kind of went upside down at my work, I decided to do the random adventures of Twiggy on my Twitter and Mastodon account. And of course I couldn't post for a while, and then I realized I have this Twiggy. I'm about to go to a con. She's not exactly huge, so she should be easy to go with. So literally, as we were moving suitcases out the door and getting ready to get to the airplane, I grab her, and I'm just like, we're taking Twiggy with us. That was it. So first chance we got to take a picture, when we were at the airport, I put Twiggy on the luggage, and thus began the adventures of Twiggy going to BabsCon.
Let's get Twiggy with it.
Yeah, let's get Twiggy with it. Of course, the joke was the entire time I did not, until we actually got there, of course, I wasn't going to announce where in the world Twiggy was going. So I had some fun. I just basically started having fun with it. Of course, Twiggy trying to drink the jungle juice in the the airport. And of course, the jokes. In fact, Twiggy is the reason I was able to chronologically. I was able to chronicle a lot of the adventure here, because getting through airport security was fun. But when I asked if I could get a heavy tag just to put on the plushie for a joke, the counter person just loved the hell out of that. So that was easy enough. So I had the heavy tag on Twiggy the entire time after this point, which was probably a good idea in retrospect in a few times. And unfortunately, I was correct in a few things, as we did have a delay in our flight. In fact, the delay was announced just as we got to the airport, so it was right when it was too late for us to just stay home a little bit longer. So I even got Twiggy up at the front at the desk to quote unquote complain. I was going to try to have her hanging on the monitor of the terminal to complain, but I couldn't quite get the balance right, so I just ended up having to sit her on the counter. And this one was dumb lucky, because when I was getting to my seat, apparently my neighbor, the person I was going to be sitting next to, hadn't sat down yet, and I was like in basic cheap ass section, so they didn't sit me till near last. So I had a quick moment to quickly plug Twiggy down in the seat, take a picture, and get in my seat. Which, I gotta admit, it was actually a lot more pleasant than before flying this time, because my knees were immediately pressing against the back of the chair.
Nice.
And
also, in my own little side adventure here, did not find anything that said ice dispenser, but in Sunny's thing, it does look like something drops down. So, it might be ice dispenser. Who knows?
oh boy, we found the toaster of G5, and it's apparently an ice dispenser. Go figure.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, I kind of chalk up a little bit to the leg room that I had this time around, and the fact that I've been losing weight. And I think I think this was like one of the times that actually paid some real dividends I could see, which was nice. So I'm hoping that things continue to improve there. Anyway, getting back on track, we finally managed to get to the airport. We had a quick moment where I was able to get Twiggy on the baggage claim. Of course, ever since my Southwest Airlines flight where they lost my baggage for a day, I've been really paranoid about baggage claims. So luckily, no problems there. Then, of course, we did get to BabsCon proper. Because of the flight delay, though, some of my plans were scrapped. I was hoping to meet up with some berry tubers and just kind of explore some of the town, the city area, and go a little bit further than I had it with BabsCon before. But by the time we got there, the Lyfts and Ubers were like $40 just to go, just to take what would normally have been a 15-minute drive, an hour drive. So yeah,
was this rush hour or heavy traffic time?
It's like about 5-6 p.m. So yeah.
I would call that about rush because it starts at like 3, ends at like 7 if you're lucky.
Yeah. But other than that though, there wasn't too bad. We got into our room. I'll get back to the room in a little bit because oh boy, that's a whole nother story. Then me and Haru decided to go and get something to eat for dinner. After walking around for a bit, we almost... there was a couple of places we wanted to check out, but some of them were closed or they only had cash. They had an Irish pub there. I thought that would have been so cool, but they had cash only, so no cards there. So we ended up going to a Chinese place. And I ended up getting chicken teriyaki. Actually, it was a really big meal too, so that kind of caught me way off guard. But it was nice. It was a nice big meal.
First time Twiggy ever tried.
No, so somebody actually got a little freaked out on Mastodon, just like, no, Twiggy, don't eat the chicken. It's like, don't worry, she ate the rice. She only ordered the giant combo, the giant $30 combo meal for the bowl of rice, which sounds exactly like the Twiggy thing to do, right?
Cannibal.
No, that's a Twiggy thing to do. You order a $30 combo for the bowl of rice. Because it's not on your money. It's not your money you're paying for.
No, it's Celestia's money.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, had some chicken teriyaki. We got to chill out a bit. And eventually we got to our badges. Fortunately, getting our badges was another bit of a headache. Apparently, the BabsCon supply truck was really late, so they didn't start their badge handouts till about 8 p.m.-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I got my badge, they didn't give me the Canterlot Pony badge that I actually paid for. I got a normal weekend badge, which also meant that I didn't get any of the cool swag until I complained. Not complained. I pointed out the fact that I didn't get my stuff. So I got my stuff, and I actually had a fight for a con book a little bit because BabsCon had one big problem, and that is, it's a pretty bad elephant in the room. Though I think I understand that their situation may have not been as great as they would have hoped. But apparently,
them having difficulty raising funds.
No. They raised plenty of funds. The problem is that during getting their com books printed, there was a problem, and they only got 300 com books.
Oh.
So yeah, com books became.
My brain must have went back to earlier time when BabsCon was in trouble.
Yeah, they did have some trouble.
They have?
300 com books.
Well, no. How many attendees?
Oh, it was over 1,000, I believe.
Wow.
It was a good number of attendees. So, what ended up happening is they did set aside com books for all of the higher sponsor tiers, and I actually had to point out that their old website showed that the Canterlot ponies, which are technically not a sponsor tier, but technically are, that's the one thing that drives me the most crazy because it says sponsor on the badge this year, but they're not. They're more like a swag tier. But it does show that you got the com book. So I basically had you literally have it on your website. I get a com book. So yeah, I had a fight for my com book. But that's a whole that gets even worse, unfortunately. But it did get better.
So they
in the
didn't
end.
clarify on the website enough that one tier wasn't getting what they promised.
No, it's just that I think they were going to try to get comic books to everybody, but since things happened with the publishing, they could only promise
They had to
comic
scale
books.
it back to the higher tier instead of both tiers. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I'll go ahead and say what happened. After they held back enough comic books for all the sponsors and everything, what they ended up doing was taking the rest of the comic books and then putting them in the con store for sale for about $5, I think. And you can imagine just what happened when that happened.
Protests?
Very much so. It was a Twitter storm, really bad Twitter storm because of that. Especially since some of the artists did not sign off on something like that, and they were really pissed.
Especially since they're not getting a share of the profit.
Well, especially that, but it's just that there's something that wasn't agreed upon either. But eventually, what happened was
This is why you should check in with your artist. Is hey, we would like to put this on sale on our website. Are you okay with that?
Well, if
No.
if the printing happens, since they only got that many, they wouldn't have the time to make
Ship
the
it
change
everywhere,
to the
yeah.
agreements with the artists. That's something they have to have agreed with beforehand.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was they did end up issuing refunds for anybody that did buy the comic book. And then the next day, and then on Saturday, about noonish, all the rest of the comic books they had available, they gave to the info desk for people to ask for and grab one. So you still had an opportunity to get a comic book, but unfortunately, yeah, if you weren't ready to jump
first
on
come,
it,
first serve.
pretty much. Which is a shame, but when you have a printing problem, I understand that's just something you can't do anything about. So yeah, that happened with the comic book, but yeah, it wasn't until we got back to the room and Haru pointed out to me that my badge said 3-day weekend. It wasn't Counterlot like hers, which she had a Counterlot sponsor badge. So yeah, that was a whole nother fun thing I had to deal with the next day. So now the room. Let's get into that. This was a con first for me because that room had 6 people in it. 6.
Okay.
And
This might
here's a big and. 2 of them were deciding to cosplay for the entire convention. And it wasn't just like one cosplay for the entire weekend. It wasn't one cosplay for the entire day.
No.
They were rapid firing cosplays every few hours. And they were not clean people.
They had giant suitcases.
Giant suitcases. Wigs everywhere. That bathroom was covered with all sorts of cosplay outfits surrounding the toilet, I might add.
Oh no!
The sink was covered in cosmetics. This looked like if you had like the
I can
craziest girl.
understand the cosmetics, the things around the toilet. That's too much.
There was
see, they might have been hanging it up on the shower.
no, they weren't.
There wasn't enough room on the shower toilet. That's the point.
This was all over the floor. This was in the pathway. You literally had to like do giant steps across suitcases in order to get to the bathroom or even out the door. This was 2 people doing this in a room of 6.
Yeah.
And
those 2 people needed a room all to themselves.
And no, here's the problem. Those 2 people, one of them was the one that owned that room. And so they apparently also were not very clear to people, or they omitted things, because everybody in that room thought there was only going to be 4 people in that room. Imagine everybody's surprised when it ended up being 6. And here's a big kicker. I paid for half of that room for that weekend. Granted, they were also there, I think they were there a day later at least. So they were there until Tuesday morning. But regardless of that, yeah, that was messy. I was lucky, and also admittedly me and Haru were really sneaky about this, that we made sure that our things were on that bed so that people wouldn't try to take the bed away from us. I'm not going to lie. I will never let this happen again.
See,
I-
this is why
I am
asked you.
I am absolutely going to make sure I have the room from now on. And I rent it out to the people. I don't care if I have to put it on a credit card. I'm glad for the experience. Everybody talks about that con experience where they room with 6 people and some of them are a complete mess. I'm grateful and happy that I got to experience that sometime in my life. I never, ever want to do it again. Ever.
Not even for $1 million.
No. The worst part is, I don't care at this point. I don't care if I burn bridges. This and the other problem about this is the two of the people in this room were, and me and Haru put this lightly, a lot. I'm going to admit they're probably, not even probably, most definitely on the spectrum. And I understand that does come with its own problems and, hardships. But at the same time, it kind of feels like they didn't put in a lot of effort to try to coexist, as it were.
So they were unruly and unconsiderate.
They were kind of inconsiderate, unruly, very loud. It was kind of messy. Actually, not kind of, pretty messy. It was pretty messy. One of them stocked up the. This is kind of one of those weird things. It's kind of a pseudo complaint, kind of not. I mean, one of them basically completely filled up the mini fridge with soda. Like a grape, an offshoot grape and an offshoot Dr. Pepper, and just like some people could drink them if they want, but they just like filled up the fridge. So, and if you had any leftovers, you couldn't put it in the fridge to keep it from spoiling. So it's like, thanks, but no. I don't know. This was a mess of a roommate experience, and again, I'm grateful and happy to have had it happen, and I never ever want to do it again.
That's why whenever I travel, I always get my own room.
Yeah.
This is why whenever I travel, and especially CMC can vouch for this, I try and make sure that I have enough space for whoever comes with me.
No, believe me, I did the normal things, and I was following up the proper ways. Here's the dumbness on my part, and I'm still not sure how this happened. I have no idea how I got into a room with this person.
Oh.
I thought this was one of the people that I roomed with last year. I don't think it was. I have no idea who this person was, how the hell they were on my Discord, or how we ended up getting into a room together. I don't know what happened there.
The definition of a hot mess.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Well, the only exception to me sharing a room was during BronyCon, and because I could not afford my own room at all, and
Yeah.
it was free
And
for staff.
absolute definition of a hot mess. I have absolutely nothing to add to this. This was 110% bad situation. But I'm sure people are tired of me talking about it. Let's move on. So, of course, the next day, Friday, that's when the fun began, because that's when I finally got a picture of Twiggy with the community board, because they didn't have a banner or anything put up that I could find immediately in the morning.
Do you have
So,
a closer picture of that new Faces of Content Creators, or is that somewhere available online?
I'll get to that. You're going to love this. You're going to love one
Okay.
of these later. You're going to love this. But I could also probably zoom in on this thing. This camera was like crazy. You know what? Let's go ahead. Yeah, this camera is really, really good.
Ronin. Okay, I think I've heard that. ACLP, I definitely heard. Luna.
Oh, wow. I didn't notice it until
Derp
now, but
looks cute.
I think they goofed up on the glasses a little bit on that one. Or is that intentional? On Luna Brony.
With how Photoshop that is, that might be intentional.
I know, right? I don't know.
I couldn't tell myself. Jeez.
Anyway, but yeah, so...
Lottie?
of course, this was Twiggy's official announcement that we were at BabsCon. So immediately, the first thing we did at BabsCon was hit the vendor hall. Of course, that's when we corrected the badge. So I actually did get the Counterlot sponsor badge, as well as find out that Counterlot sponsor was literally all in name. So I was Counterlot, but not a sponsor. I don't know if the picture is in here at any point. No, it is not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and also mention something I did here. There might be pictures if you look around for BabsCon pictures for this year. I didn't get one. I feel kind of bad. I did a naughty. So for BerryTube for fun, I decided to print up some Stary Bells. If you don't know what those are, basically it's Sweetie Belle staring at you like she's trying to look through your soul. It's actually kind of a little bit of a running gag in regards to BerryTube. Case in point here. The Stary Belle.
Amazing.
Amazing indeed. So I printed out a bunch of little mini ones to basically decorate around the con just for fun. And then I had a wild idea and I printed out 4 very large ones. How large did I make them? Not as large as I would have wanted, but I filled up an entire normal sized page with that image. And then trimmed it a little bit because there was still a little overhang at the bottom. So I had 4 of them. I stuck one on each of the corners of these community message boards. So Stary Belle was on every single community message board. Nobody knew where the hell it came from except for a few that saw me doing it. And I just made the joke, she's always watching and judging you. I've heard more than a few comments about it, and nobody took them off the entire weekend, so that was the most glorious thing I did in a while. I am so proud.
That is amazing.
I know, I am so proud of it, but I'm so pissed I didn't get a picture of it.
You were busy putting her up.
I kind of, well, no, that she was put up before I put up the Stary Belle, which is another problem. I think I put the Stary Belle on that corner that she's on too, just to add insult to injury. So yeah, anyway, we went to the vendor hall, and unfortunately that's when Haru discovered that bronies don't necessarily just make merchandise of bronies. And she found a giant plush of an Azure Lane character. Now, the reason that's a big deal is Haru really loves Azure Lane. She is one of the whales that you hear about in mobile gaming when it comes to that game. She spends a lot. I think
okay.
I'm just gonna leave. She spends a lot.
The anime was better.
You know what? I'll take that. But yeah, the fact that there was a plushie there, she immediately jumped on it. Spent a few $100s on that thing. So yeah,
you have no room to talk.
I have no room to talk, but at the same time, I found it funny. I find it funny. I'm not admonishing. I found it funny, especially since I also spent money on a bunch of merch. Of course, this was a Twiggy image that I got with the merch.
Is that a berry? Oh, is that a berry punch carry-on bag?
No, that was a berry punch sweater. Waffle Wishes brought in a berry punch sweater, and I bought it to 1, celebrate BerryTuber, and 2, because I thought it looked cool. And of course, there got a towel, a few drink mix cards. This doesn't picture everything I got though, because you'll see the most of it later. This, of course, was making the joke that Twiggy stole my wallet and bought a bunch of things. Because I can.
Oh, she got the heavy thing back on.
No, she has that thing. She has that thing on the entire time. Even if you look at the previous image, it's really hard to see, but she kind of has it hanging in the back there. Yeah, it's kind of caping there.
It's there.
Yeah, she never took that off the entire time after she got it on. But yep, and
She
then
enjoys her cape.
and then of course we went.
Stop for enjoyment.
Oh yeah, Then, of course, we went exploring the con as usual, going to the video game room, which, of course, I had to play the Zelda CDI that they actually had there. I always forget just how horrible it is to play it, and I don't know if it's a controller or the game console itself. I was
bashing
Everything
Pokemon
about it.
does.
Yeah. But it was awesome. They had they had like a 3-hour segment where they had nothing but hacked games and stuff. Basically all of these ROMs and things with a bunch of different mods and stuff. There was so many pony themed games in there. It was not even funny. Of course, somebody took an SNES Classic and put like Pony Fantasy, Equestria Bound, the Super Pony All Star Sisters. Just so many fun things there. It was honestly great. It was a great time. And of course, there was the tank display that they have every once in a while. So I had Twiggy coming on there. I had to put Twiggy in there, looking like she was trying to play kaiju. I mean, who wouldn't do that, right?
X MLP crossover.
Yep. I actually got here's an actual full image of the entire thing here. It's actually really, really awesome. I think one of the tanks was
I see War Greymon there.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually asked about it. They just like, why not? I mean, they got the mystery machine in there too. The old school mystery machine. So yeah, for Friday we just basically had fun checking out panels, going back to the vendor hall a few more times, and of course I ended up since I was there for berry tubing as well, I ended up going to the berry tuber room for early fun, basically just to relax a bit, and also had them test out my meads, which I apologize.
They loved.
They actually
And then
did.
sometime after that, you played Pokemon with me and Short.
Yeah, you guys dragged me in for Pokemon at one point during all of this.
Card game or the video game?
Yes,
Video game.
the video game. But actually, here's a funny thing. During one point of this, you can see that I gave Twiggy a scarf now. They actually had little mini scarves. And I saw them being delivered to one of the booths, and I just immediately went for it. And I do not regret it. It's actually now on the Anon Pony plush I have, which is oddly fitting if you know where the scarf is from. But anyway, yeah, the berry tubers, I gave them all a chance to try out the mead. They actually loved all of the meads, including what ended up becoming the mystery flavor, because I forgot what I made it out of, and I think it was just a normal honey brew mead. But yeah, no, they liked it. I actually succeeded in back sweetening a lot of them, so, a couple of them. So, yeah, really sweet blueberry pomegranate went well. The apple cider was smooth. It all went really well. I was actually really surprised how well the meads went, and I'm feeling a little more confident about my meeting experience. But yeah, then I ended up during the party time. Actually, I think for the rest of Friday, there was just pretty much relaxing and then going into doing the party room scene. But I had Twiggy there just to sit on a bunch of ciders in the back in the bar area for fun, and I ended up guarding the door for a couple hours.
Angry Orchard.
Hey, she wants that apple cider. But the party rooms. Oh man, the party rooms were crazy this year. The Klingons came back. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Long and prosper. No, wait, wrong ones.
That is the Vulcans, my dude.
Yeah,
Don't
I
make
just
me go
remembered.
there.
You know what? He got the right franchise at least. I'll give him that. But
I just remembered, wait, was that the Vulcan Klingon?
Okay. What's on the screen in the back? I believe that was that's the stream for the berry tube that they had in the back area there. So the berry tube the berry tube website, which has constant videos running. They just had it playing right there on that screen and also on the big screen TVs. Oh yeah, I was room guarding on Friday. But yeah, no. After I finished that, I decided to check out some of the party rooms. I didn't get to do as many party rooms as I wanted to because I ended up going to the musicians party room, and they did not pull punches.
They don't.
They did not. I went up there. I did the stupidest thing. Is like, hey there, I'm a berry tuber, and I am completely crazy. I'm completely crazy. Thrill me. Basically, just like open-ended challenge. They go back. They're mixing all this stuff together. They come out with something that looks like black ichor. It looks like somebody. It doesn't even look quite drinkish. It looks more sludgy than drink. Completely black. And I take a few sips, and it's mild. It's not that bad, but it definitely has a weird twinge to it. You can see that they were definitely trying. And I decide challenge accepted, and I immediately downed the whole cup right in front of them.
Oh God.
They were just like, "Oh wow, Berry Tuber." They actually called me Berry Tuber. That was fun. Like, "Oh wow, Berry Tuber. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? You deserve that. You get that. Yeah, let me make you something nicer." And they actually gave me a nice light fruity one, and after that, which I am thankful for because the aftertaste on that was godly bad.
I can imagine.
But
Did they malort you with that though?
it wasn't Malort levels. No, nothing competes the Malort. By the way, I'm gonna save that for later because that's also a regret. The second regret I had that weekend. But we'll get to that. So anyway, once everything was over and done with, the day ended. We went on to day number 2. Of course, day number 2, enjoyed some nice coffee. Started to get started with the day as usual.
Is that a yak poster right next to the cup?
No, well, yes, actually, that is a yak poster, but that was because they were having the martial arts bronies, doing an martial arts demonstration, and apparently the voice actor for Yona was going to be involved. I missed out on the whole thing though, so. But yeah,
Let me get this straight. She was going to throw them yak style.
Yeah, pretty much. I missed out on the whole thing though, so I can't say much about it, but it sounded interesting. So I, did a little bit more exploring in the vendor hall, checked out a few panels, and of course, I realized I forgot to make a picture of Twiggy with probably one of the more interesting interactions I had, because not glitter, glamour. Starts with a G, I swear. Gleamy Dreams. Gleamy Dreams recognized that I was posting up Twiggy pictures on Twitter. Gave me a little rubber duck. So of course I had to make a joke with the rubber duck that became Twiggy's friend. Of course, this is the only time you see it pictured because it's a small little rubber duck and I didn't want to lose it. And of course, random foam banana. I'm still not exactly sure what's going on with that, but it had something to do with another one of the party rooms. And then we get to this here. I found Looney Turtle. And of course, knowing who Looney Turtle is, I was able to ask for a dumbass joke favor. And we got Twilight Sparkle riding on the back of Looney. Well, not Twilight Sparkle, Twiggy, as she is wont to do. And then a little time later, there was the plushie meetup, and I figured, oh, this is a prime opportunity. So I go over there. Funniest thing I saw was immediately these. This is a ceiling.
Do I want to know why an old Phillies are upside down?
Because they
Magnets.
can be. It really is magnets, but it was amazing that they got them up there to begin with.
For a moment, I thought they were Bat Pony plushies.
Nope, they're just Anons, but it's still hilarious.
No, that's just an air vent.
And then the moment of happy truth. Found another Twiggy, and it even had the same scarf too. So other than the heavy tag, literally Twiggy's
Twinny
twinny
tag to tell the difference between them.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Which is Have a good night, Judd. Which is exactly why I'm glad I had the heavy tag on her. Because then came the giant plushie group. Now, here's a fun one for everybody. Give me a second here. I want to make sure you actually can. Yep. Where's Twiggy?
To the left.
Let me be specific. Where's my Twiggy?
Yeah, there's one on the left. There's one on the right.
The
Both
one,
on the lower chairs.
the one on the left. The one on the right, you don't see a string on it.
The one on the left?
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
Which one?
My left.
There's only one with a scarf over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the scarf on.
Nope. My Twiggy's right there.
There it is, hanging down below.
Yeah, I tried to hide it, but yeah. My original idea I was going to have was to have Twiggy in front of all of them and trying to lead like a giant plushie army, which would have been hilarious. But the way that everybody was grouping together to take pictures, I couldn't exactly do something stupid like that. So instead, I just had Twiggy in there and played Where's Twiggy?
This is getting out of hand. There are 3 of them.
This is good.
There's a lot of those Twiggies.
There's quite a few of them, and so many people loved the Twiggy. I felt so bad when they're just like, how did you get it? It's like, you had to pre-order it from a special link that was on 4chan. It's like I'm telling him you had to go through hell. You had to go through hell early and hope to get it. It's like, I feel so bad telling you that, but it's so awesome.
There's a long starlight.
Yeah, there's a long starlight. They had some really big plushies in there. Of course, that wasn't the most amazing thing that happened. No, the most amazing thing was Cadence cosplayer.
Oh yeah, Cadence.
Yeah, and I actually believe I know who this person is. They're affiliated with the Pony Archive, so that's a really awesome thing there too.
Yes, they are. They had to at Harmony, I think it was, where they were doing a panel and they had to basically just take off the head, put it to the side to do their panel because they were doing cosplay the whole day.
They kind of had to do the opposite
for the panel.
I heard they had to do the opposite for the last panel of the day, just because they needed to run to the airport near the end of the con. They only had the head on for their last panel. The body was already packaged
Put
up.
away.
Yeah. So yeah, I did get a couple of fun shots with that, especially since Twiggy accidentally fell over during one of the moments.
Is that an AJ with Dipper's hat?
Say what?
In the background.
I don't know.
AJ with a hat.
I don't know if it's Dipper's hat or not. It might still be in that plushie.
The color isn't right though. It's usually white and blue, not white and black.
Yeah, it might be just like a different trucker hat or something like that. But yeah, Twiggy on top of Princess Cadence. My life is complete. Of course, at this point, I just was goofing around a bit, and then I found out about these. I found out a couple of business cards had some images on them, and when I was talking, yeah, I thought the cards were pretty funny. I thought they were just jokes on. The whole theme of the con was like retro. So seeing Hoofbuster, Mayor, the joke with Dare, and things like that.
Oh yeah.
I thought they were just fun.
Font.
I thought they were just fun little cards, and then I realized that they all had images on the back of them, and they made an entire picture. So, I ended up I actually went on a mad quest during Saturday afternoon, looking for all of the cards with the images to put them all together. And then once I did, I found out I saw the image, and I'm just like, this is only part of the image. So I went back and I talked with Looney, who kind of alluded me to the image and told me that the other part of the image had to deal with a bunch of signs that were on some of the doors or behind some of the panel room signs. So I'm just like, so I'm going to have to go running around doing puzzle solving now, aren't I?
Yep.
So I ended up just like, you know what?
Side quest unlocked.
I still got some time free, and I've already got this far. Let's see what. Let's just go with this. I don't know. I was just kind of curious to see what the whole image was now. So I ended up going through, getting all of the signs. It took me a while to find them because one of them was in the gaming room when they were showing the original Super Mario Brothers movie, and everything was dark, so you couldn't quite see it normally. It's kind of a mess, but I ended up getting it all together, and I did something really stupid. I descrambled the clue, and I thought the clue said Brony E-bit, but I was also kind of tired, so I didn't. It wasn't until later I realized. I found out that I accidentally messed up the name a bit, and it was actually just Bronze Bit. But I was apparently the only person that accidentally mixed up that one letter to make it Brony E-bits. That was kind of stupid funny there. So, yeah, I ended up getting that and getting a piece of that. And, yeah, I'll get to the end result there in a moment. But let's just say I literally stumbled upon something I completely did not expect. But, anyway, Saturday, they actually did a weird food truck thing for dinner at the hotel a couple of times. So you could go to this thing where they still had like overpriced food, but it wasn't ridiculously overpriced. Like you could get a tray of tater tots for $8, which considering you could also go to like one of the nearby food places for $20. That's still not too bad.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue because as in our experience at HomonyCon, it was either the restaurant or you had to have some sort of food at your hotel.
Yeah, food's always a problem with cons. But anyway, so yeah, I ended up getting tater tots one night. I think we got chicken tenders another. But the funny thing is we found a can of Sierra Mist. So
Which changed over to Story, I believe.
yeah, Sierra Mist is rapidly going to become one of those things you will never find again. So to
By
find
the way,
it,
Story's not that bad.
it's the same thing, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
I know.
So yeah, no, Sierra Mist no longer exists. So this is going to rapidly become one of those items that you'll never see again. So Twiggy found the treasure.
The can?
It wasn't my can to save. It actually belongs to Haru, but she did. Instead, I saved this. They had a bunch of these cupcakes.
Awesome.
They had a bunch of these cupcakes too. They were also ridiculously
the
priced.
Sandy head.
Oh, definitely the standee head, and also the cake base, that little cardboard base at the bottom. I saved
Yeah,
those.
that face is cute.
Yeah.
Does this look like a face of cake to you?
So, yep, getting back on track here. Of course, Saturday, I did have a chance to explore more of the party rooms. Here's a picture of Twiggy in the clean-on room. You can see the batleth right behind her. And that's when I also found out they had a really interesting drink called Revenge.
Oh.
Because every
It's
time...
just served cold.
And... No, literally, that's it. You order a Revenge. They shout, everybody... the bartender shouts out, "Revenge is a dish!" Then everybody shouts, "Best served cold." Then you hear "and." Then they shout "often" and "early."
I'm
Oh,
still kicking
okay.
myself that my brain.
I think it was
because-
just kind of a running gag at that point a little bit.
I'm still kicking myself that my brain farted in the middle of that. Like, was that Klingon or?
Nah, don't worry too much about it. Like I said, yeah, at least you got the right franchise. If you said like
I don't.
like,
do
"May the
that
force be
often.
with you," we would all be ready to kill you.
I don't do that often. I knew it was the Klingons, but I just.
Don't worry,
Anyway.
the horse is with you.
Yes.
always
Anyway, getting back on track, I also visited the Everfree party room for a little bit. That was pretty fun. Got to, yeah, you can see I got a
Look how many
picture.
Orca ponies.
Considering that I am going to be going to Everfree this year, I thought this would be a nice, fun allusion to the future of Twiggy's adventure. I think I think with the I don't know what in the world if it's a contradiction or not. I'm just gonna leave that alone. But in any case, so yeah, just a little joke of Twiggy probably going to be showing up at Everfree. I also did get to check out the mayor's party room, which was actually quite hilarious. They had a like a little thing full of bananas, those little foam bananas. And unfortunately, it was so busy, I didn't get a chance to put Twiggy down there to get a picture of her and the bananas, because that would have been amazing. But yeah, no,
So
they
how
had
much mayor bread was there?
they had so many bananas. What?
I said, how much mayor bread was there?
Mayor bread?
Mayor bread.
Mayor bread.
I don't think they had any.
See, this was a different Splinter Cell.
Well, they had bananas. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have time for mayor bread or something. I don't know. They did.
California food prices. I wouldn't be surprised.
They also did have a bunch of anon stickers, anon thing. You know, they were all over the map, so it's kind of hard to say. Anyway, the other fun thing is there was also another party room that unfortunately I didn't get to have anything because it was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. I went in there. They looked like they had some interesting drinks I was going to try, but they were just like, you can go ahead and order a drink, but please tip me $5. It's basically like I'm charging you $5 for the drink. It's like, dude, no. Plus, I didn't really have $5 on me, but still, just kind of left a taste. I feel for them, though. I'm pretty sure that drinks are expensive and stuff. Anywho, I'm getting back on track. So, Sunday came along. Things quieted down. I finally had my last moment of dumbass inspiration of Twiggy trying to host her own panel. That was actually a fun little inspiration. Also got to check out a few more panels. And one of the best things of the night, I found out they had a ramen shop nearby.
Ooh.
And I was able to order a full tonkatsu ramen with a imported dry black beer. Asahi dry black beer.
Nice.
This was the most incredible thing I have had in a long time. I finally got a chance to try real ramen. Not some of that stuff that some Japanese restaurants give you and they call it ramen. It really isn't. You know what I'm talking about.
From secondhand information, if you can ever find a Tatsu ramen, it's normally pretty good.
Yeah. But no, it was amazing getting a chance to really try some actual ramen. And, oh, right, I might as well go over the dumbassity of my Sunday, too. Because
There's more?
There's a little bit more. My other regret that I have no pictures of, thank God.
Wait, there's more.
So, Sunday evening, of course, all the party rooms were closed, but you still had after parties. And late in the evening, I finally found out that the Berry Tube after party was still going on. I didn't know when it was happening because at the same time I was eating this ramen, they were at a sushi. Most of them were at a sushi place, so I didn't quite know the rules in regards to that. But I found out a few hours later they were all in the Berry Tuber room, and I went to join in. And I had a few drinks. We had some fun. I got to meet with one of the other Berry Tubers. We got a good talk. Actually, I found out one of the Berry Tubers was one of the 6 people in that room. That's also why I found out what some of the weirdness that was going on. But I made a friend, so I'm happy about that.
Yep, that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah. Anyway, I did the dumbass thing. I did a really, really dumbass thing. So let's go ahead and start off with this. So the first thing I decided I wanted to do something really stupid and fun, and I found out they still had a bottle of Malort.
Oh.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to set the record. 4 shots in a row.
My dude, I don't even know what this is, but given your alcohol consumption, you should not.
4 shots of Malort?
Yes.
Oh.
In a row.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking I wanted to set the Berry Tuber record because I'm an idiot.
Oh, God.
I probably did.
Blow up his dinner.
That's not the worst thing, unfortunately. But I think I pretty much did set the record. Now, before anybody gets too concerned, it didn't really do much to impact my system. I think I may have been slightly inebriated at best, but that's about it. I was not.
I have fears for your taste buds.
Yeah.
No,
Fierce
oh no,
French
it was
River.
it was nasty as all out. The only reason the only reason I got to 4 is I couldn't do 5. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I don't think I could do a
How did
5th.
your liver handle it?
I don't think it did either. But well, again, we'll get to that in a moment. Trust me, there's a lot to this story.
Okay.
So the next thing I did, I decided to try a mixed drink for fun, just to cool off a bit, and mostly soda. I'll give that out. I basically did a shot of Jack Daniels. I think a little bit of like apple Jack. I think there was an apple in there. No. It was whipped cream vodka. Shot of Jack Daniels, whipped cream vodka, wild cherry Pepsi. Actually, not that bad. I thought that was pretty fun, stupid ass mix. Then we had a little bit of pizza just to make sure that people didn't go too overboard. Smart move, always a good thing to do. Then I had the dumbass idea. I saw that they had a few bottles left, and each one of them had a little bit. And I'm thinking, what would be interesting to try? Let's see if I can do a little bit of each one of those liquor bottles in one cup, and try to make a mixed jungle juice, and make it taste decent.
Or some people call it like a soda suicide.
This is what I might as well have called it a suicide. So I got maybe an ounce and a half of every single one of those bottles in one of those red Solo cups. It wasn't near the brim, but it was definitely very close to it.
Okay, I think this is something called a bodge or bloig or something. Food Theory did something about it.
No, it's not a Borg.
Thank you. Well,
No problem.
technically it can be because
It's not. It literally is not a Borg. A Borg is literally half vodka, half water or sports drink, and in a water jug. And that I could tell you was a dumbass idea. But moving on. So I put in like a little bit of soda, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I was able to get it, so so it was a decent drink. It wasn't like great and amazing, but you could drink it down, which I thought, wow, that was amazing. I pulled it off. And so I just ended up sipping at it for a little while until it was all gone. And the disassociation started to begin. And I've never experienced this kind of disassociation in my life, where you know what you're thinking, your brain is functioning, but it's like it's not connected with your body in a way. It was really weird to experience, I'll tell you that. Again, I'm slightly glad I got to experience it. I never want to do it again. Because the next part is, unfortunately, the unique experience and just the weird floaty feeling turned south very fast. And about, I don't know how much time, 5, maybe 10 minutes later, it wasn't in the, yeah, I think it was. I ended up in their bathroom, and I was praying to the porcelain god.
Yep.
I had a feeling that was coming.
I got through enough so that I was able to get myself cut together. If some people were concerned, I felt mostly ashamed of myself more than anything. So, but I was okay for the most part. And I headed back to the room. And I get to the room and I end up going to the toilet again, just getting a few more chunks out. And then I go lay down in bed. I'm just trying to wait for it to pass over. Really sucky stuff. And then it comes up again. I managed to quickly make my way over to the garbage can, and I start going off on that. Now, while this is happening, I think only Haru was in there, but she was asleep to the world. I don't think anybody else was in there or awake at the time, so I'm literally in there by myself, just upchucking in a garbage can. So that didn't go too well, and then I put the can aside, making a note that we'll probably have to get housekeeping on that. And then I go lay down. I go lay down for a bit, and then I still get the urge, and I got one more big one to come out. Remember all of that cosplay and stuff that was surrounding the
No,
toilets?
you didn't.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I tried my best to hold it until I could get my head over the toilet bowl. I think that probably did less to stop it and more put it into a pressure spray gun situation. I can almost say that very little of that actually got into the bowl. The only saving grace for some of that was at this point, not only did they have cosplay all over the place, but they had a bunch of used towels. So luckily, some of them caught the brunt. Not all of them did.
Was it clothes items or just wigs?
Yes.
And this CMC is why I have my cosplays stay near, if not in, the bag.
This is why you don't have them around the toilet.
Expensive and hard to clean. Clothes are easy to clean.
This is why you don't have them surrounding a bathroom toilet.
Exactly.
Just that alone. So I admit I did what I could to clean them up. At the same time, I was kind of bitter about the whole weekend of this going on with this whole room and the 6 people and all this trash. I'm just like, you know what? It kind of fucking deserved this a little bit. But I wasn't a full-on bitter thing. Just I did my best to clean up what I could. So I think there were specks of it that you could see, but luckily I think I got rid of the worst of it. But I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if I never heard from these people again. That's kind of one of those things. But I was able to finally go back to bed and get to sleep. And here's the funny thing, and this is the one thing that most people are going to really hate about all of this. I wake up the next day. Other than a sore throat, I'm perfectly fine. I just need a coffee and I'm good to go. I have no idea what happened.
Other than a few ruined wigs, nothing happened. Moving on.
So anyway, Monday, of course, I had that said coffee. Of course, I decided to allude to the horrible night that I had, and Twiggy is just kind of leaning up against the coffee, the muffin there. And we also had we did have one thing I forgot to mention. I also got a Korean corn dog from a nearby BabsCon too. That was the first time I ever had a Korean corn dog. It was a lot of fun. I actually enjoyed that.
I'll be right back.
Right.
Doggy eats me.
No worries. But yeah, to wrap things up, I packed Twiggy away. I thought it'd be funny just to have her sticking her head outside of the backpack. Luckily, we were able to confirm that we had everything together. Me and Haru were really smart about that messy room. We kept everything in like one corner of the room the entire time. Because we didn't want it to get lost in that cosplay shuffle. If it ever got lost in there, we would never see it again. But it was still a mess, though. Anyway, we eventually left the room. I finally got to fulfill my dream of getting another tag onto Twiggy as we were heading home. That was a lot of fun there. And of course, not to forget that we also get the picture of her as we finally got home. On a pillow that we were also hoping would have been for sale at the con. Because somebody's cat has decided that it is really cushy and nice, and they want to keep using it.
I love how she's got heavy on her paw.
Yeah. I just kind of loosened up the tags and everything, just like she's trying to rest now after all of that. Considering how much I rested after that, it's not inaccurate.
So after going through getting the business cards and finding all the other pictures and deciphering what it says, was there any reward for that?
There was. it was apparently, and to my surprise, a hidden scavenger hunt throughout the con. They did not allude to it. They said nothing about it. They just had clues hidden around, and if somebody were to decide to jump in and start going through them, they would be given other clues and be able to start the process. I literally started right in the middle of this thing. So you were supposed to start with the door signs. I started with the picture business cards. But yes, you put them all together, you got a print. This print that has something to do with the storyline of the convention itself.
Interesting.
Yep. This was, I believe, drawn by Looney Turtle because he signed it, which was really nice of him. And apparently, I was the 7th person so far to solve it when I got that.
Wow.
Yep. And speaking of which, just to save on, whoa, that is
so tiny.
Yes, it is. Let's try that again. To save a little bit on time, here is the full swag experience. And some of you might be asking, what's with the bottle of whiskey? Especially after the story. Monday morning, when I was sitting there with the coffee, a couple of bronies came up to me. They had like some leftover water bottles and a thing of whiskey that they didn't want to take with them, and I just said, "Yeah, why not?" And I took it in my baggage with me.
That jacket looks so fun, but so light.
Oh, it's a very light jacket, which makes it perfect for like just the moderately temperate weather. It's not great for like harsh winter and summer. You'd probably bake out, but it's really good for just that light breeze weather. Whoops, that is. But yep, going a slightly slow scroll down here. But yeah, I got a good chunk of merch. Most of it was more on the expensive side than the load side, so it doesn't look like there's a lot, but it's because it costs a lot.
It costs a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's also what I was alluding to. One of the panels apparently had a giant poster of a bunch of pony source filmmakers, and I managed to get a hold of one. Now the only question is, I don't know where the hell I put it. It's somewhere in this house.
Don't worry, the house.
You mean that poster, or
yeah, this poster right here? It's just just a giant paper poster, so it's not like on any print poster thing or anything. So yeah, it could easily get damaged if I'm not careful. So the fact that I'm missing it is also kind of concerning. Also, you got the princesses howling at the moon. That was just an awesome shirt.
Oh, hey, there are your pieces parts of the poster.
Yep, I also made sure to include the pieces in the general merch gathering there. I'm not sure what I want to do with the pieces, but I do want to hold on to them just because it was part of the fun experience, and just the fact that I randomly stumbled into a scavenger hunt I thought was pretty fun. Yep. And that was the con experience of Circuit Maine, or how I destroyed myself at BabsCon. But they have already announced.
Only Circuit Maine was harmed in the making of this production.
Yeah, which I'm sure everybody will be happy that it was only just me. But any case, good news is that they have announced the next BabsCon next year. And I think everybody did rather well this time around. Granted, I think the vendors didn't quite have as much buying as they normally do, but I heard some of them got off pretty well for the most part. So yeah, unfortunately, I think the current economic effects are being felt by this a little bit, which is a shame. But yeah, there's a con next year, so you can count on me and Haru probably going. Especially since Haru was also talking about getting the bigger sponsor package, and no way in hell are we sharing a hotel with 6 other people again. Which, yeah, I don't blame her on that one. Also, I got a random Easter egg with a plushie in it. That was kind of fun. So, that was it. If you want to get a closer look at all the merge picks, they are closer picks in all of the Discord and the con chat. And I apparently took up all of the time. So does anybody have any questions here, or should we go ahead and wrap up the show in general?
Show in general.
Oh, thank you for speaking for everybody. In all seriousness, though, I had fun. I honestly hope that people can attend BabsCon, though. If you want a review of another con, we do have Everfree, which I think a few more of us are going to be there this year. Isn't that right, Coldust? And maybe Deathlight if he was still here. I think I killed them both.
No, Cole's been muted this entire time.
Doesn't mean
Cole, your laundry's done.
No, what? No, what? No. Come on. All right, let's just go ahead and wrap things up then. Anyway, thank you for the retrospective of BabsCon and also Circuit's Big Mistake ×2. Seriously though, if you're gonna drink, it's fine to drink. Just please take it slow. Don't do anything stupid. Please.
And always have a friend ready to deal with you when you're drunk.
Yeah. I'm glad I had somebody there that ended up friending up with me and taking care of me when I was starting to get a really bad downturn in regards to the liquor. And I did learn a valuable lesson about over drinking again. Except actually this time it was a different but still valuable lesson regardless.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a good experience overall and I'm not gonna knock any of it. I really did have fun. But as with all things that are fun, it's time for everything to come to an end. You can hear the wonderful closeout music is playing. So unfortunately no videos tonight. We'll have to save that for next week. But what we do have tonight is shoutouts. Coldust, are you back yet?
Yes, I'm alive.
Alright, so Coldust, shout out then.
Shouts out to Feather.
Shoutouts to all the amazing artists in the fandom who continue to make really freaking awesome art.
Yes, thank you for inspiring me and also pissing me off at the same time. No, seriously, thanks to you for the amazing inspiration that keeps me wanting to do better on my own art.
There are so many freaking amazing artists in this fandom, and I love it. It's like one of my favorite parts.
Definitely. Alright, then on to Crazy Matt Captain.
Fires, explosions, Mufasa, venison, jerky, yellowy roan. No idea what we're doing Wednesday. Probably more Valheim. We'll see. And I have to wonder, where did Creature find this spike bunny? It's hurts my brain.
Alright then, I'd say that means DM21 time.
Have a great week. Stay healthy, and I'm getting tired.
Alright, then Textalion.
Did someone say jerky? I can go with that.
Alright, Tokoi.
Shouts out to all lovely people that make this show possible. Oh, thank you, Team Command Something for being our moderators. Thank you to Ella, Act 2, AOK, Alex Dry, Alien Gathering, our great friend Stormcloud, Tim, Brian to Act Breaking, Commander Rude, multiple Discord for the streamers, bots, DM, Dragsnap, Elysian, and Freaky Babe TV. That's not good. Isabella, Catherine, Luna, Star Pony, the Ninetales, Paradise. Yeah. Wow, there are a lot of bots here. I'm just seeing. Ponyman64, me and our text relay, And if I missed you, it's because I couldn't tell what was bots and what's actual people because, wow.
Alright, and then let's go on to Suki of the Otaku Ascended.
I could go to bed.
Alright, and with that, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for another episode of The Brony Show. Please be sure to tune in later this week on Wednesday for Winchester and his Wednesday crew. Also, a reminder that I do Let's Plays on Sunday, which we're doing Monster Hunter Rise. I'm going to try to do other Let's Plays throughout the week. This includes speed running of the My Little Pony game. Speaking of which, also pick it up if you want to get it, especially for $10. Along with that, reminder to tune in an hour early for the pre-show with Cold Dust and crew, which is always a fun and shenanigan-filled time. And if you're watching us live, we have the after party, which is on our Vaughn stream. Only on our Vaughn stream, because we watch random YouTube videos and we just have fun with shenanigans. And obviously that means that we can't do it anywhere else but the Vaughn stream. Then shout out to Commander Something for keeping an eye on chat and on us. And Clyde the Conquest, Cool Dude, Fantastic Fred, Relay Surf, Sonic 5421, Techman Tick Stallion the Second, Bigly Creepy, and yay, Archivers! And speaking of which, I do want to give a big shout out to everybody who watches our show, whether you're watching our archives on YouTube when we upload them, or if you're watching us live on both YouTube and on Twitch. However you catch the Brony Show, it means a lot to me that you come out and check us out and have fun with us. So thank you all, and I hope to see you again next time and next week. And I believe that should cover it. So until then, I hope you all take care, and I will see you later. Good night!